Okay, so I think we're back on, hopefully, and let's now start the next session, which is going to be on our Yiqinggong Tai Chi. So, and salute. So let's begin with some Tai Chi Tsao. We'll do 3 different Tsaos today. And then we'll do some Yiqinggong, a little bit pause stance and some Yiqinggong before going on to our form. I forgot to find out today what I'm doing. I think I'm doing the long form, so if not, apologies. But yeah, we'll go through a bit of the long form, and then week by week or session by session, gradually building up the layers. For those that have started the short form on Monday, perhaps rather than following this, maybe just recap on Monday's class, so that you gradually get through the short form first. And but if you already know some long form or are ready for the long form, Yiqinggong long form, then we can do that today. Okay, so I'm not going to speak too much today. I'll try and make it more of a participation thing, and let's just see how we go. So let's start off with some Tai Chi Tsao, with your feet shoulder width distance apart, toes aiming forwards, your hips resting, your crown lightly stretched, touching the sky, everything else resting underneath. Even your feet, be careful not to emphasize one side or another, but just gently resting completely. So the bamboo, raise, fall, rest on your back. Hang the shoulders, hang the elbows, let the head fall forwards. To return, focus on the tail falling, softening through the knees, hips forwards, and again softening through the hips and the knees. So as described on Monday, the idea of the bamboo reed, gently bowing forwards and back. And the sensation of inner connection. So no part of the reed extends more than the other part, and the other parts. Everything is connected. Everything links. Let your body move freely. And mentally have this little realization that if you try to control something, it's usually done through the muscles, which actually restricts your movement. So as an alternative, the Tai Chi alternative is to be as soft as you can and yielding and gentle, allowing your body to move, as opposed to forcing your body to move. Using force is kind of like driving with your foot slightly on the brake. So it's possible, but it's just not required. And then return to center, maintaining that lightness through the crown. Let your head become heavy and fall to one side, and notice the effect running through the spine, then releasing through the legs to return. Still light through the crown, heavy through the head. Feel the effects and fall down. as you continue, keep the eyes facing forwards. So you're really affecting the sides of the spine so that this doesn't happen. But you're looking forward not with your head, but with your whole front of the body. Usually in a class or in a classroom environment, we tend to show the movements, but then the idea is that you practice at home. But you are at home. You have time, have a bit of space. Hopefully there's no rush to go off and do anything. So we want to give ourselves mental space, inner space. So we can really slow down. Reduce the mental chatter. And reveal this nice space that we can live in internally. Being aware of all the parts of the body. Feel the neck opening, the ribs opening. Feel the weight of the arms, stretching your shoulders. The weight of your head, stretching your neck. And circling is the third part of this exercise. If you have any neck issues, be absolutely cautious and do not push yourself in any way. I had some quite relatively serious neck issues before, so when I was turning I could only get to here, and I made the crazy mistake of just forcing myself through, thinking, oh, if I get through it that'll help it. Made it worse, so I couldn't do the exercise for a long time. And one of the silly things is that eventually I thought, okay, I'm only going to go to here, which is what the teacher said all right from the start. I'm only going to go to here, and then within a relatively short space of time I was managing to get all the way around. Not that that's a goal, but the goal is to be loose and flexible, and to open up the joints, to heal anything that's kind of rigid and stopping the movements. And I really could have kicked myself, because I thought, well, I knew that from the start and I just didn't do it. I just did what I thought instead of what the instruction was. So had I followed the instruction from the start, it would have been much easier. Because I followed what I wanted to do, I actually didn't need someone to instruct, because I was only doing what I was doing. So this is a strange little thing. So if you have any neck issues, if you have bone density issues, lightheaded issues, things like that, just be very cautious. If you feel any obstruction, however minute, stop there and return. So we've done forwards and back, left and right. We're now going to rotate. So forwards, choose one side to turn, and if you meet any resistance, just stop there and then come back to the centre. Go to the other side. If you meet some resistance, stop there, go to the centre. If you can go a little bit further, then that's nice. And again, when it gets a bit tricky, just stop there and return. And even if you can get all the way around, stop once you reach the back. And then reverse the direction. So as you go through the movements, just be highly aware of any resistance or tension in the body. And as best you can, try to lose or reduce that tension and stress. then start to find the idea that you're really moving from your centre, and the result is that your head moves. So the goal is not to move the head, the goal is to move your body. Your head is just a heavy weight hanging from the neck. And the temptation is to move the neck, to position it where you think it should go, and to pull the chin back and things like this. Instead, your hip travels forwards underneath your shoulder so that your head happens to fall back. From here, you can see I'm holding the neck. Instead of that, let it hang, and then moving from your centre. Turn. The hip travels under the shoulder, which brings the head back. Then release the hip again. Let the shoulder fall. Same the other side, falling down. Let the shoulders hang. Let the body open from the front. Release the hip. Okay, return to the centre at the front and release the tail. Soften the knees. Let the body come up all on its own and rest. Your feet slightly in, rounding through the back, soften the legs, like you're pressing a cloud down, and your crown is lightly lifted. Okay, so let's now go through, we're going to miss out the monkey, and we're going to go straight onto the crane. So every session I'll try to do 3 towels, and so we get a chance to do all of them. Perhaps at a later date I'll do all of them, but that might take an hour and a half or an hour or something, but that can be done later. Again, shoulder width distance. This idea of hanging from your fingers as opposed to pushing from the shoulders, hanging down, drop, find your shoulder and back. The other side, drop, find the shoulder and back. And you're just falling from one side to the next. The emphasis is on dropping the hips towards one foot, which creates a turn, and then the same to the other leg. So you're falling onto the left leg, falling onto the right leg, falling onto the left, falling onto the right. Avoid lifting the hip, and instead release the hip. Release the hip. So some pointers. As your arms drop from this stage, the crown lifts. As the arms drop, the crown lifts. The arms drop as the crown lifts. It's a way to avoid this. So we don't want to press and compress everything down. So instead your crown almost as if you're going upwards. You're not really going up, but as if you're doing this. And by the same token, as your arms lift up, your tail falls down. Yin, yang. So together, the crown lifts, the tail falls, crown lifts, tail falls. And then focus the palm as if there's something in front of you and you're striking with your flat palm. So strike, then close the hand to strike, close. You may feel the temptation to stop in the middle. Your arms effectively hang and then fall again, but there's no reason for your hips to stop. So it's not putting the brakes on and then starting again. You're going from, in your stance work, you're going all the way through. There's effectively a stopping or a pause at one side, go through, pause at the other side, go through and pause, go through. And with the arms, there are two pauses, one at the top, one here, one at the top, high cycle, one at the top, low cycle. But be careful not to put the brakes on with your legs. So soft through your hips. Each of the sounds should be done for maybe 15-20 minutes to get some real benefits. If you do maybe 5 minutes, it will take many months to get any benefit really. Well, you'll get some benefit initially, but nothing more than just light exercise. But to really get into it, we need the mind to get out of the way, or the brain to get out of the way. And after a while, you can focus completely on what you're doing, what's happening in the body. And again, perhaps we'll do that at some stage. Okay, and relax. So the feet slightly in, rounding through the back of the body, your weight slightly forwards, lifting the crown. The tail hangs all the time, and pressing, falling, but the fingers lightly energized, and relax. Okay, so let's do the frog as the last exercise, which is sound number 6. Those of you that are on YouTube, all of the sounds I've just put up recently, so maybe check those out if you have time. I've given some instructions on there as well. Each one lasts 5, 6 or 7 minutes or something, and yeah, feel free to check those out and to go through them, and hopefully it will help your practice. So let's do the frog, which is sound number 6. My YouTube channel, I actually don't know what it's called, but I think it's still under my old name, which was in 2006 or something, and I named the channel whilst I was on the computer. I named it after the thing that I saw first, which happened to be a vacuum cleaner brush. So if you're on YouTube, if you look up vacuum cleaner brush, that's my channel. If not, just look up sound number 1 or sound number 2. There are actually many teachers that, or probably many teachers that have got their own versions and their own instructions on, so check those out, they'll all be fantastic. But on mine, I've written it as sound number 1. So TSAO, the number as in the hashtag 1. So yeah, check those out. Let's go through the frog, which is sound number 6. To expand through the lungs, to hang through the tail and the spine, to expand the ribs slightly, to energize all around the shoulders, and to have the idea that you're being pulled up and then dropped to the ground. So I'll do it facing you to begin with. Your feet just inside shoulder width, so not too wide, a little bit narrower than the usual. Your fingers and your crown, as if tied by a string, are going to be pulled up towards the sky. So you're being pulled off of your feet. Then cut the strings and fall. Again, energize. You're being pulled up and fall. You're being pulled up and fall. You're being pulled and fall. Make a note of the instruction. Not push up, but you're being pulled up. One is something that happens to you, which is being pulled up. Pushing up is something that you do. They're opposite ends. So being pulled is being passive, but something happens. Pushing up is doing something. So they're kind of, one is yin, one is yang. It's a rough way of saying it. So you're being pulled. The part that you do, you can use with your feet as if you're rolling and pressing the earth downwards. Or imagine the earth falling away and your feet are chasing the fall of the earth. So you're not really pushing upwards, you're letting your feet roll, press, and then fall. So roll, press, and fall. So you're rolling, falling, not lifting like this, but rolling, rolling, ribs open and fall. Be a little bit careful on the end not to throw the body or the arms, because other parts of you will compensate. And you want no stress on your back whatsoever, none whatsoever. Here, this is a big stress on the back. So now your crown always lifting or being lifted, your tail always falling. You're capturing your body weight via these two big springs of the legs, like you're landing on a trampoline. And be cautious not to jar your landing, so you're not holding at all, but just like you're bouncing, being thrown, bouncing, being thrown, like a football or a ball being bounced on the ground. On the last one, we can hold to the upper position just for a second or two, so let's do that now. So hold just for a second or two, check your tail, falling, and then relax. Of course, if you have any issues, any difficulties, adjust the movements to adapt to whatever you need. So you actually don't need to lift up your feet or anything, you can do it from here. If you have shoulder issues, I know a lot of people have some mobility issues around the shoulders. So again, you don't need to do this, but just try to find a way as softly as you can, so you can maybe go to this height, or even just to here. And if you take the exercise just in its simplest form, you often see this kind of thing, which is quite nice actually, because it requires no strength from the shoulders or the back or anything. We're just kind of falling. But here we're just having this, we're just extending it slightly in an attempt to hang the tail more and to have the crown lighter. So we want this expansion theory. All right, give it a shake. So we've finished off this frog exercise, cell number 6. And yeah, many people say, oh, I couldn't look up the word cell. So T-S-A-O, T-S-A-O. So a few people misheard me and thought they were called cells, C-E-L-L-S, which I think is actually quite cool. It's quite a good name for it, I think. I found out recently from someone else that he thought it was called sales, S-A-I-L-S. And someone else thought it was called cells, as in S-E-L-L-S, cells. Like, I'm not sure what you're selling here, but anyway. All right, so let's go now forwards onto our Qigong. So for the Qigong, we'll do a horse stance, just for a short time, just only a few seconds. Not much instruction to begin with. Maybe I'll say a few bits because I do tend to waffle on a bit. But we're going to just hold this horse stance just for a few seconds, and then we'll go through some of the sounds, and some of the Yiqinggong. There are 9 postures, I think, and we're just going to do parts of the first posture, parts of number 1. Okay, so starting with your feet shoulder width distance, a little bit wider is okay. The sensation of resting your legs, resting through onto the ground. Be aware of your feet cleaving to the earth. Soften your shoulders, soften your chest, creating this valley. By softening here, you may feel that your back partially inflates. Just be aware of that. There's no actions involved, there's nothing that you do, it's all observation. So just feel that your back opens by resting your shoulders. If Martin's out there, I went to Berlin, went to Martin's class. He said something which was absolutely fantastic, and I've stolen it from him blatantly. And it was really nice. The crown touches the sky. The crown touches the sky. And to quote Fernando, in a different vein, it's like you have a nappy and you filled it up. And because of that, the tail is so heavy it falls towards the ground. So it's not something you do, it's something you feel. Your crown touches the sky and fill your nappy, falling down with the tail. Okay, so your arms energize, a little bit open and round. Soften the legs, soften the palms. The fingers and thumbs open. The nappy gets a little bit fuller. Crown a little bit lighter. And I'm going to put on some music, meditation bells. Apparently it was very mild before, so I'll put it on a little bit louder. And during the bells, just follow me, we're just going to do the actions, and that's it. The main feature is really that you connect the back. Breathe in when your hand is closed, breathe out when it opens, hold for a few seconds. Breathe in, the hand is closed, open, breathe out, press, your body weight slightly on the right. Let go, breathe in, and breathe out. Left hand, close, as if pulling a rope, breathe in, open, press, breathe out. Relax, breathe in, and breathe out. Both hands, the rope. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. In. And to the sides. Breathe in. Breathe out. Focus in the palms, connecting through the back, hanging the tail. Relax. In. And so next, right hand up, left hand down. Catch the rope. Breathe in. Press in two directions. Breathing out. Relax. Breathe in. And breathe out. The other side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hold. Relax. Breathe in. And breathe out. Both hands. In. Out. Relax. In. And for now, returning back to the horse stance, Mahabu. Breathing out. And rest here. Okay, open your eyes. And okay. For the Facebook thing, those bells were on YouTube. I completely stole them, so I don't know if I can say that. It was on YouTube already, so someone had created them, so they're copyright free. Alright, so get yourself a quick drink, and then we're going to practice on our long form. Just do a few movements and see how we go. I'll kind of assume that those that are doing the long form already know, let's say, section 1. So I'll try and get through as much of that as I can today. And then we can, week by week, get through a little bit more. And of course, the great thing about Facebook is you can go back to the lessons that were done previously, and you can recap on any of those. It's almost like you're having a lesson again. So yeah, have a go. Get yourself a drink if you need. I'm just going to quickly check. the phone. Gary K. Anita, hello. Diane, hello. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to go through the long form of Martin Quen Tai Chi, and it's the same long form as all long forms, but of course in the Martin Quen system. So let's start off, and we'll go through a few bits. Of course, the space is a little bit limited, so we'll see how we go, and I might need to adjust and adapt to the surroundings. If you have space, then great, just carry on. If you don't have space, of course, adapt. Don't hit things. Years ago, I gave a really terrible excuse to my teacher at that time. I said, "Oh, I can't really practice much because I can only practice in my room." This was years and years ago, and I think I had about probably about 2 meters by 1 meter, and I said, "Oh, I can't really move that far." And he was absolutely brilliant. He said, "You're a human being, and you've been defeated by a window." Like, oh, yeah, I have. So he said, human beings can adapt to the window, the wall, the boiler, the bed. Can't do anything, but you can do something yourself. So the idea is that you have the space that you're standing on. Whatever space you're on, you can adapt and change as if you're moving forwards or as if you're moving backwards, and because you're free. You're absolutely free. We don't need to put any limitations on ourselves, and especially not to be defeated by, a radiator or a tree or something. Trees living, so sorry about that. I didn't mean it. Let's go through then our long form, and I'll take a few movements, repeat it a lot so that you can refine and catch up. Then we'll do the next few movements and continue in that vein. So, going through the usual points, take a step, energize the fingers lightly, expanding out through the arms, let the shoulders open, fall, and press. Convert to a turn through your spine, close the thumb, expand the back to turn, the right toes up to the corner, transfer the weight, part the wild horse's mane. Then empty the back leg, empty the same elbow, step to the diagonal, expanding through the back and resting down onto your leg, arm. Then replace the arm, release, and roll back. Release both elbows, lift but without the shoulder, close the hand and catch your falling hand. Squeeze, ji, open the back, hang the elbows, expanding through the back, hang the elbows again, focusing forwards, un. As you do so, you're falling, energizing the back foot, then expand, turn. So like chopping with a sword, replacing, and single whip. Use the leg to mobilize the arm, form the beak, fingers, wrist, palm. And forwards, catch, and kick. Shoulder, elbow, replace, step, and white crane spreads its wings. Okay, I know most of you have done that already, but let's just go through that a few times for those who need to catch up, and also so I can remember the form myself as well. I think that you should be able to see. I'm not really sure, but let's try. 预备，起势。The right hand is energized by your hips, thumb closed. Turn the toes, hang the elbow, split, part wild horse's mane. Empty the right side, the hip and the elbow. Be aware of your back foot. Replace your elbow with your hand. And roll back. Release. And close the hand. Catch your falling fist in your lower hand. It's not a strike. You're capturing your hand like a trampoline. Boing. Land. So, bounce and land. Open the back. The elbows are heavy. The hands follow. And up. Be aware of your back foot. There. Turn like the sword. You can replace or exchange or just the other hand. Kick, turn, form a beat. Fingers, wrist, and either chopping or pressing. Turn, change, kick, capture, like the ta, shoulder, cow, elbow, jaw, replace, step, white crane spreads its wings. One hand throwing forwards through your back, one hand throwing downwards also through your back, and cross hands. White crane spreads its wings. Okay, and again. I think I fell asleep halfway through that, so I might have made a mistake. If I did, I apologise. Let's go through it again. expanding the back, empty the hips, empty the elbow, split, return to yourself, empty the hip and the elbow, expand, replace, roll back, release, squeeze, expand, press, and turn like the sword, kick, fingers, wrist, palm, capture or aim, kick, shoulder, elbow, replace, as if throwing discus, and one more. I won't say anything this time, so very painful for me, but let's have a go. Okay, good. So this is one short section. If you like, then if you're watching it later, then pause and then just have a go yourself. Otherwise, let's carry on, and we'll do the tricky section of the first, or tricky part of the first section, which is the brush knee twist step run. So the sequence is brush knee, strung the loops, brush knee, and step. Then we go back to the original side again and do the whole thing again. Brush knee, strung the loops, brush knee, and step. Sounds easy, but is a bit confusing as we first started. So let's just have a go. I'm going to stand in this direction so that if you're facing the screen, I think that's right, that you'll be able to see as if I'm directly in front of you, so you don't have to turn the neck or anything. So we finish this movement. White crane spreads both wings. So I'm going to start this way, but of course you would normally still be there. So you're going to turn, notice what's to your left, and as you do so, again similar to these exercises, your body weight falls into one leg. So you're turning, then your left hand drops, engages, sidestep, and press. And again, it all relates to the Qigong and all the rest of it. Then half a step, probably can't see, kick, strongly, whilst pressing. Then again, brush knee, 1, engage, 2, and then going around the roundabout, replacing your hand with your elbow, the left hand lifts and shoots. Take a step. Perhaps let's just do that part first. I'm going to do it at a slight angle so you can see, because I think my body obscures your view a little bit. I really can't see though as the camera screen is away from me. Well, it's tough, isn't it? So let's just do what we can. So from here. So I'm going to go to that direction, but of course you'd be travelling to your left. So aim and fall. Lift and brush knee with a side step. Half a step, hanging the elbow on your hip. Kick. And again, brush knee, drop. And brush knee. To step, replace your wrist with your elbow using your back. The left hand lifts at the same time. The right side falls away. Shibu, which we'll do next week. Step. And again. So from here. To change. Round to the back. The elbow replaces the palm. And step. And once more, I'm going to gradually turn and face more and more this way. Side step. Strum the loop. If you land your foot directly down, then on the next movement you'll need to sidestep again, otherwise you'll twist your back. So sidestep again. place, and step. I'm going to do another example where I'm going to place my foot slightly differently, which you'll see. So before, after the small kick, I just dropped my foot straight down, which meant that on the next movement I had to take a side step. This time I'm going to do the same thing, but after the kick I'm going to place the foot a little bit to the side, and if that happens you don't need to take the side step because you're already there. So that's what I'm going to do exactly now. So here, side step, strong loop, half a step in, kick, but now the foot slightly to the left. So it's already in position, no need for a side step. Round through the back, hang the elbow into the hip, and step. And once more. And again. Turn, defend, side step, defend again, and return. Okay, so remember this sequence, the order. It's brush knee, strong loop, brush knee, and step. Because we're going to use that again, exactly that same order, exactly the same size and everything again in a minute. So let's do it once more, and then I'll add on the exchange, or the other side. So the linking part is just one brush knee, but on the left-hand side. So here, I'll do a few facing the other way in a minute. So we've gone brush knee, one, strong loop, two, brush knee, three, and step, four. So from here, it's the same again, another brush knee. If you've landed on a straight line, as I have, I'm going to need to do a side step, but you can equally as well step to the side. So we've done our exchange and step. So same thing, four to brush knee. Then we're going to exchange again, exactly the same as before. Replace your wrist with your elbow through your back. The right hand projects forwards and take a step. So again, we've done this, brush knee, strong loop, brush knee. So we've ended up here. So to change, we've done our step, So to do the other side, it's drop to brush knee, side step if you need, another change, replace the wrist with the elbow, shoot the arrow, and step. So again, from where we finished, if you stepped on a straight line, brush knee, side step. Exchange, and step through. Again. If you stepped on a wide stance, so when you did your step forward, you stepped to here, which is just as viable because you could be stepping to the outside of the person's foot. Then when you do your brush knee, you don't need to adjust the foot because it's already there. Exchange. Step. Same thing here, wide or narrow. If narrow, you're going to have to side step in a minute. If wide, you don't need to. Let's add all the pieces together, and yeah, I think I'll face the same way. Drop to brush knee. Half a step, strong glute. Drop to brush knee. Change sides. Drop to brush knee, this time with the left hand. Exchange. Step to change sides. So let's do that once more. Brush knee. Strong glute. Brush knee. And exchange to step. The transition is drop again to brush knee. Another exchange. And that's it. Let me do one from the front. You may not be able to see it properly whilst doing it, so maybe just watch. And then I'll do another one facing the direction that you would be facing. I hope you can see more or less. My hand's just out here. So, drop to brush knee. Step, strong glute. Drop to brush knee. And take a step. Exchange. Step forwards. From here, the same. Drop to brush knee. Exchange. And step. So watch once more. Okay, and I'll do one facing a different way. And maybe once more. Thumb closed, thumb closed, open, thumb closed, thumb closed, open, thumb closed, thumb closed, open. Well, if you've got that bit, you've got the rest, more or less. So you'll remember, just to recap, we had brush knee, strum lute, brush knee, and step. And all we're going to do is repeat that again. So we had brush knee, strum the lute, brush knee, and step. We had a little bit of glue, which was a brush knee again, to fit the two sides together. Then we're going to do the same thing again. Brush knee, strum the lute, brush knee, and step. Simple, eh? Yeah. So brush knee, strum the lute, brush knee, step. A little bit of glue, brush knee, step. Then the same again, brush knee, strum the lute, brush knee, step. I'll face this way, I think. Yeah, so if it helps. If it doesn't, you can let me know in the comments. Brush knee, strum the lute, brush knee, and step. The glue that links the two together, brush knee again, plus a step, and then just do the whole thing again, brush knee, strum the lute, brush knee, and step. So I think maybe it's quite a nice idea to get to the end of this section. So if you know the ATA or other long forms, the Sun style, whatever long form you know, it's actually the same order. So after we've done our step, we're going to do deflect, parry, and punch. So in the standard forms, it's like this. In Marks and Quen forms, a little bit more complicated, I would say. So let's have a go. Okay, so we've done brush knee, strum lute, brush knee, step. We've done one on the left hand side with a step. Same again, brush knee, strum the lute, brush knee, and step. So we're travelling in this direction, but I'm going to face here just so you can get a better view. So from here it's going to be deflect, deflect. So it's like fall and return, fall and return, through the hips, through the back, through the tail. Importantly, not the arm, not the arm. The arm is the last thing. This is the key. The body turns, so you're just falling and rebounding. So it's fall, rebound, step and scoop, and punch. I'll face this way a little bit more. So fall, rebound, step, and punch. Now facing this way, fall, rebound, step, and punch. This way again, fall, rebound, step, and punch. Then directly from here, so we've done our step, so it's fall, rebound, step, and punch. Fall, rebound, step, and punch. Fall, rebound, step, and punch. So what comes after bun entree, this deflect parry punch in any of the systems? Well, it's apparent close-up. Exactly the same here. From here. Let me just go from the first part of that section. Fall, rebound, step, and punch. So just as in the replacement step in the brush knee run that we did just now, your wrist is replaced by your elbow. So imagine your punch went in, but it failed. Someone stopped or got out of the way. You replace with your elbow. So we've deflected something, we've made our punch, so now we're replacing with the elbow. There are many, many ways to do this posture, so we're going to focus on one method to begin with, which is just opening the wrist. So it's similar to punch, but the other way around. So we've gone punch. Just as a way of learning, just roughly, offer your wrist and your elbow through the movement of your back expanding and your body turning. Your fingers are going to fall through this hook of your wrist. The fingers get heavy, the elbow gets heavy, and because the elbow falls, it energizes your fingers. Yin transforms to yang. So we've gone punch, round, offering the wrist and the back. The fingers fall through the wrist on the inside. The elbow falls. Maintain the left side to expand the back. Hang the elbows. Focusing out into the distance, but your yi, your intention, very far away. At the same time, you're falling on your front leg or towards your front leg, and therefore your back foot is being pressed into the ground to create this ripple bounce that comes out through the hands. So again, yin creates yang. So we did our fall, rebound. So fall, rebound, step, and punch. After punch, continue around. The fingers go inside your wrist, falls. The left side is energized. Hang the elbows and focus out. So if we started off facing in this direction, we've gone through the beginning, part the wild horse's mane, or split, grasp the bird's tail, single whip, white crane, spread its wings, shoulder elbow, white crane, spreads both wings, brush knee, strum the loop,